Friday night in Winslow, Arizona, Payson High School faced off against Winslow High School. And in the opening minutes, it seemed as if there were a third team on the field, the Zebras, who picked up as much yardage in the first few minutes as the Longhorns and the Bulldogs. The Longhorns' defense stopped the Bulldogs on their first possession, and with senior running back Nick Alexander just getting started, Payson drove to the Winslow 10-yard line. The drive stopped, and they settled for a Josh Bruin 19-yard field goal. That made it 3-0 with 5:47 left in the first quarter. There were some outstanding performances by the defense. Matt Wilson slapped down this pass, and then he sniffed out a bootleg by Bulldog quarterback Matthew Smith and buried him. Meanwhile, the Zebras, very much in the game, picked up big chunks of yardage as they proudly displayed their colors, black, white, and yellow. Payson's Nick Alexander was putting on a show. And maybe this inspired Payson's David Carlin, who put on a clinic for linebackers. You just don't get tired of watching a great runner do his thing. And Alexander was very accommodating as he scored the Horns' first TD with 5:55 left in the half. The extra point was missed, and on the ensuing kickoff, Winslow's Greg Morgan finessed his way through the coverage, and it looked like he might go all the way. But Tyler Savage, with an unbelievable tackle, saved the Horns' bacon. The defense stopped the Bulldogs, and on third down, Troy Brown ran Matt Smith down and forced the Bulldogs to settle for a field goal. That made it Payson 9, Winslow 3, with 3:20 left in the half. The Longhorns, led by Nick Alexander, who carried 8 times for 148 yards in the first half, controlled the ball for the rest of the half and got to the Winslow 9, but were unable to score. And looking like they were on a mission as they came out for the second half, the Payson team continued to put on a defensive show. And the Zebras continued gaining ground. The Horns' defense was just devastating. Even when they missed a couple of tackles, teammates were there to finish the job. Nick Alexander was just amazing as he continued to pile up the yardage. There were many outstanding plays. Ridge Hallinar on 4th and 1 got the first down, and then he got a lot more with a great individual effort. Nick Goodman rushed for the touchdown, and Payson took a 15-3 lead with 2:53 left in the third quarter. Linebacker David Carlin dominated the second half as he totally disrupted the Bulldogs' offense. Then a little scare for the Longhorns as Nick Alexander got tripped up and seemed to be injured, but Dr. Morris worked out a little leg cramp and he was fine. While Alexander took a break, Ridge Hallinar, with some outstanding line blocking, went 58 yards for the Horns' third touchdown. Check out these great downfield blocks. Good job, guys. And good job, Ridge. On defense, Brian Burke showed great concentration as he tripped up the Bulldog quarterback Smith. David Carlin caught Smith again in the backfield. And as Brian Burke and Kevin Connor forced Smith out of the pocket, Matt Wilson made him pay. Meanwhile, on offense, with Hallinar taking a well-deserved rest, senior quarterback Zach Brooks did a great job of controlling the ball the rest of the way. the Zebras still picking up yards. Unofficially, Nick Alexander finished the night with 214 yards and 17 carries and 1 TD. Quite a night. Nick Goodman had a nice night also as he ran hard with just seconds left on the clock. So the Longhorns put on a great show on the road, and their appreciative fans were serenaded with a rousing chorus of the fight song.
Steadfast and true, our commitment is high. Payson High School, Longhorn pride. Victory is in our sights. Purple Lord, all the colors of fame. Went through the top lines crowding. Payson High School, Longhorn pride. Victory is ours tonight.
In the end, the Horns overcame the Bulldogs and the Zebras. Final score, Payson Longhorns 21, Winslow Bulldogs 3.
We won 21-3, and it's good, obviously, to win, but I felt like we kicked them up and down the field, left and right, and it was just our own penalties that held us back and some mistakes on special teams that gave them a chance and hurt us. For us to have 475 yards rushing on a night with 0 passing yards, that's outstanding. It's good to have Nick Alexander around. There was a possibility of him not even being able to play football anymore because he's had some concussion issues, but he got cleared, thank goodness, and he's just been a rock. He runs very hard. You know what? He's one of the 4 running backs that we have that just run very hard, and I guess it was Nick Alexander's night because they couldn't tackle him. He was running hard, he was hitting the hole hard, hanging onto the football, breaking tackles. Just had an outstanding night. I mean, 17 carries and 224 yards. Ridge had 4 carries for 100 yards, and had they not brought the one back, he'd have had 5 carries for 175 yards. Nick Goodman had 55 yards. Brandon Alexander had 55 yards. And that's a big tribute to the offensive line of tight ends and fullbacks and tailbacks blocking for each other. You know, and then of course the running backs running hard and breaking tackles. It was a really good night as far as our run game goes. Coach Hayes had a great defensive scheme set up this week for him. You know, they weren't too flashy on their offense, so it was really just a matter of reading their keys, hitting the holes hard. You know, and the kids did. They just did a great job of communication on defense. Dave Carlin had a huge night on defense. Just timing the blitzes up correctly. So when they snapped the ball before the O-line moved, it seemed like he was in the backfield hitting the quarterback all night long. And not only that, but you know, when we didn't blitz him, he was all over the field making plays. He just had a heck of a night on defense, has a nose for the ball. Running around just flat out decleating people. It was exciting to watch him go and have some fun. And you know, and to be quite honest too, that's where the defensive line comes into play too, because our linebackers got a chance to run free all night and make plays. And it just all worked well together and gelled nicely. Matt Wilson and Brian Burke, they're our defensive ends, and they just did a great job of maintaining the outside contain and keeping the plays inside so the linebackers could clean them up. Yeah, Brian Burke dove for that tackle at that. He got upfield, saw what was going on, got rid of his guy, dove back after the guy. His motor's always running. Matt Wilson one time got upfield, saw the boot, contained it, then threw his guy, got inside and tackled him, you know, and then had the big 2 knockdown passes. Ran right by his guy, knocked those down. I mean, it was fun to see those guys have some success as well. Yeah, our kickoff team is usually our mainstay as far as special teams go. We put all our best athletes on there and try and let them go get big hits, and usually just do a great job. They slipped one by us there, but Tyler made a heads-up play, took a great angle, chased the guy down, and dove at the end there just to try and get him out of bounds or get him a tackle. And it was a big momentum swing for them because, to be quite honest, it was the only good thing that they had going for them all day. So it was a huge, huge heads-up tackle by Tyler. If they'd have scored on that kickoff, you know, their attitude would have changed big time, thinking, you know, we can really hang with these guys. We had some cramping issues again, unfortunately. I mean, we'll continue to take care of that. You know, the kids did everything they could not to cramp up, and it just happened, so I'm a little baffled as well as they are. But we'll continue to look at the nutrition side of things and take care of that. Brandon Alexander tweaked his knee again, and during the week we'll see what Dr. Morris has to say about that. Probably get him in some physical therapy and see if we can't get him healed up in the week. If he needs to sit out a week, we'll do what we need to, because, you know, we want him around, but more importantly, we want him around for the East Region games. And right now, he's the only one that had a situation after the game Friday. Florence was expected to be really good this year, and I know their coaches still believe they are, like any good coaching staff will. And like I said, they're really big and strong up front on the O-line and D-line. They've got some speed in the backfield, and they really like to throw the ball. Florence is a good team, just waiting to strike. So we've got to be ready and heads up, because they're going to throw a lot of formations at us on offense, a lot of motions, a lot of different looks, and we've got to put together a good week of practice. I think these first two games, more than anything, show us that we can get through tough times. You know, during games, when things aren't going our way, whether it be, you know, our own mistakes with penalties or motivation getting in the other hands of the other team, we're sticking together. We're not pointing fingers. You know, we're finding a way to regroup and just finding a way to win.